Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, out there in Facebook land and in YouTube land. We are so excited about our guest this evening. We hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to That's My Story. I go by the name of Jerry Midas Hardison. Joining me are my co-hosts. As usual, we have representing the ICATs, as well as the Honeycomb, as well as Earth, Wind, and Fire. We have Miss Shelly Cartwright. And also my other co-host representing the chairman of the board out of Detroit, now residing in York, South Carolina. We have vocalist, producer, musician, arranger, Mr. Ken Knox. How you guys doing tonight?
All right, Ken.
Good. How you doing, Shelly?
All right, we're hanging in over here.
How you doing, Midas?
Oh, I can't complain, man. It's another day, another dollar. We on episode 15 of That's My Story, and I've been having a ball. We want to encourage everyone to let us know where you're logging in from. Drop us some hearts, drop us some likes. If this is your first time, we would like to welcome you. Our platform allows us to speak to artists, musicians, producers, engineers, as we had last week, and it allows us to talk to them and you guys to interact with them as well, and allows them to share their story with their journey in the music business. There's Mom. Hello. Y'all come on in, get situated. Hope you got your snacks.
Yeah. And, hey, Francis. How you doing? Yeah, King of the Bride.
Yeah, I don't have a snack. Hey, Mom, representing my hometown of Sherrod, South Carolina. We got California in the house. Again, we have to recognize Miss Teresa Anderson for our lovely glasses.
That's right.
We got Patty McGill from Torrance, California.
We got Kansas in the house.
Kansas.
I see my Aunt Florence over there. Hi, family. Yeah, you guys come on in and get later. We're excited about tonight's show. Miss Debbie McFadder is here, representing the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame.
That's
the chairwoman. She was also a guest on one of our previous episodes. Mom says my dad is watching. Hey, Dad. Listen, I gotta thank my family so much. Real quick, they support every endeavor, and we do that for each other. I think, and that's so important to me. When you have the support of your family, you can also reciprocate it and encourage each other and push each other forward towards the journeys that you are embarking upon.
We have Neil Dugans from the UK.
Neil Dugans, yeah.
Susan Sullivan.
Gatsby in the house. Okay, North and South Carolina. Definitely representing. All right. Well, you guys ready to bring out the special guests?
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you probably already know, but allow us to formally introduce our guest for this evening. We have American singer, songwriter, producer, part of the legendary group, the Temptations. They are a Grammy Award-winning group, most notably for the hits like My Girl, Just My Imagination, Get Ready, Papa Was a Rolling Stone, just to name a few. And at some point, you have listened to this music, you have danced to this music. You'll probably listen to it with your parents, your grandchildren. It crosses all type of generational barriers. Without any further delay, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise at home as we make some noise on the screen for Mr. Ron Tyson.
How's everybody?
Hey, Ron, how you doing today, sir?
Good, man. I'm hanging in. Everything's good.
Man. We thank you.
How you guys doing?
Yeah,
well.
Doing great.
Gorgeous as ever, Shelly.
Doing great. What?
I said you're looking gorgeous as ever.
Oh, thank you. You look great too. And thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So, Ron, the popular question, usually the first question right off the bat is, being that we've been on quarantine and as musicians, we aren't able to, since COVID and everything came about, we're not able to get around and do shows and things like we're normally accustomed to doing. So we always like to ask our guests initially, what have you been doing to stay occupied, or how have you diversified during this, all of us going through this pandemic?
Singing around the house, riding my bike and listening to music and singing as I'm riding. Get in the car and go for a spin here and there, and just something to occupy your mind. Usually I would like to go play a little golf, but I haven't done that because it's been too hot for me, really.
I understand. There's no joke.
Other than that, man, the normal things that you do at home. Cooking. I've watched more TV in the last 3 months than I've ever watched in my life. So I'm a big fan of Let's Make a Deal and The Price is Right.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
I gotta watch those shows every morning.
Classic.
Oh my God! Yeah.
That's my routine. It's part of the beginning of my daily routine.
Yeah, well, and actually, just a little fun fact: this platform was actually birthed out of the fact that we were going through a pandemic, just as a way for us to to stay in touch with our friends. We don't like to say fans; we like to say friends.
Right.
In touch with them and still remain relevant and have contact, even though we can't get out and play music and quote unquote touch them like we are accustomed to.
This is my first time being on something like this, and I think I'm hooked, man. I can get all my buddies that are still around. This is a good way for us to, rather than traveling to see each other, this is a good way to communicate.
Yes,
Get used to it.
And the pandemic also forced a lot of us to communicate like this. I do a lot of this with my family and other situations. So, I mean, it's great to be savvy,
Yeah, exactly. I have to do it with my family, man. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So I'm originally from Sherrall, South Carolina, and Ken is lives in York, South Carolina, even though he's from Detroit.
Okay.
We have quite a few viewers on who are in the North and South Carolina area, and you are actually.
Where's Shelly from? Where's Shelly from?
Oh, Shelly.
Brooklyn girl.
Oh, you from Brooklyn, Shelly?
Brooklyn Projects.
Okay. I love Brooklyn. I used to gang in Brooklyn a lot.
Yeah. All right.
I'm from Monroe, North Carolina. So
yeah, tell us. That's what
I'm
I was
Carolinian.
Yeah. So tell us about growing up in Monroe, life out of Monroe, North Carolina at an early age.
Well, I remember the days when, man, in Monroe, when you couldn't go to a restaurant and go in the restaurant. You had to order your food on the side of the building, probably get in your car and eat it, And, we never really experienced anything really bad, but a lot of my family, we all lived on the same street, a street called Morris Street.
Okay.
Over in Seven Hills, with my grandparents, and it was, some fun times, I lived kind of on the countryside, but I was out of there by 12, and I've been hooked on the city life ever since.
Yeah. Now I also I came up playing music in church. My dad was a reverend, now a bishop. My mother actually as well in church. She's a prophetess. So gospel music has always been a part of my early influence, and still to this day. Now, does that remain true for you as well?
Of course, man. My grandfather had a gospel group called the Southern Gospel Six, and I used to travel around the Carolinas, singing with them. I'm about 7, 8 years old, and I was telling the story to Ken that Sam Cooke, back then the groups couldn't go to a restaurant to eat,
right.
So Soul Stirrers had to come over our house one Sunday when they performed and eat. And Sam was a lot younger than the guys in the group. So he wanted to walk outside. So we had a long driveway. So we walked up to the edge of the driveway and we standing there and looked, like I said, Seven Hills. He's looking around, and I guess as a kid, I asked him, hey, what are you looking for? He said, well, man, I'm looking for the girls coming over, And so my grandfather was real strict.
Yeah.
I said, if you're looking for girls to be coming over my grandfather's house, you might as well forget it, because they won't be coming over here.
Yes,
and so he wanted to go back to the house. He went back and told the other guys he was ready to go. They packed up and, got this up together and they left. But I said, can you imagine if I had gotten a picture or something autograph or,
Man.
my grandfather didn't even want me to have probably an autograph because he didn't like, because you knew Sam was going into R&B.
Right.
They thought that was devil's music,
Mhm.
So
Right.
yeah, I had a lot of, a lot of things in gospel and growing up under that with my grandfather. His guitar player taught me basically how to sing. So when I moved to the city, Philadelphia, I continued that in school, and then I went to opera school, so Grand Ole School of Music in Philly, which I come to find out Billy Paul went there too. So
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I just wanted to back up just a second back to your grandfather. Also, another thing I see that I kind of have in common with you with my dad is your grandfather also had a gospel radio show.
yeah, on Sundays, he had like about
Yeah.
probably an hour, half hour, whatever,
Uh-huh.
and they would talk about, I guess, gospel music. I was young then, so I might have been running in and out of the rooms,
Oh yeah, yeah. Did he ever put you on the microphone?
I don't remember doing it,
Okay.
I might have, because if he had the group there, the guitar player would always want me to sing the top. So that was his way of teaching me. And I might have done that,
Yeah, my dad did that he made sure, and I know he's watching, so I got to give my dad props because he's watching. But one thing he brought my sister, who is older than me, and as well as my brother, he made sure on his radio show, we all got some experience on the microphone, doing the weather, things of that nature.
Great. That's great, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
Can you imagine if Sam had asked me to go on the road with him at my age? My grandfather would have killed me, man. My imagination went wild thinking about that. How Sam was had his own company, and and he probably nurtured everybody that came through his company and label. I said, God, man, that being get some training from a Sam Cooke.
Yeah,
I'd have been 10 years old. I'd be like, look out, Frankie Lyman.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, and to sum it up, gospel music has been, the foundation for a lot of great artists.
Right.
So you mentioned you had to move to the city. What more?
Yeah, well, after my grandparents died, back to Philly, my parents and stuff, and Philly, got in school. And one thing was good about it, me learned singing with the gospel group. I knew about backgrounds and harmonies and all of that, and how to harmonize. So when I got in school, in Thomas Edison, we had like everybody. It was like 4 or 5 towers in the school in different groups. The group that you had, there were different groups in all 4 or 5 towers. Whitehead, McFadden were in one. Another group called the Ambassadors, they were in one. My group at the time was called the Ethics. We were in one. So, and the people in the school, oh wow,
there you go.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So everybody had their own fire escape, and people would go from tower to tower to see what group was going to be the hottest that week. So it's like a competition, man,
Absolutely.
Yeah. How did opera come into all this?
Well, my father kind of had, an idea that, I guess me sitting on the front porch, doing operatic things, he thought that was a great idea. So they put me in opera school for about 3 years. I sang in a couple of little opera shows and had opera teachers, it was great. It was a great experience, I tell you that. It wasn't R&B, which, I wanted to be singing. I remember I brought the music sheet in one day of Ramblin' Rose by Nat King Cole.
Oh,
Yeah.
Man, my teacher had a fit, man. He told me don't never bring no music in the school, And so this is like, man, in the late 60s, So of course, I never bring no more music in,
Right.
It was a good experience. I enjoyed it. I look back on it now, and from my gospel experience, and then from that experience, it taught me a lot. I learned a lot. I didn't retain the guitar playing.
Okay.
I guitar too, but I wish now I could kick my own self in the butt, because that would have been a great thing to have, in my arsenal, man.
You've been a total package.
Yeah, so to speak.
Absolutely. So was your first group called the Ethics when you was in Philly?
In school, it was the Ethics. Then I changed it to Love Committee.
Oh, okay.
And we a little East Coast thing. We had a lot of little East Coast stuff going, and we had a couple of nice records. My best friend Joe, he's in the group. he and I had the group together, and he passed away, you know, and that thing messed me up a little bit. And so just to see that of him, man, you know, it's touching. But yeah, that was
But y'all, hey man, y'all was smooth, and I hear the Philly sound. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We were trying, you know. I was trying to be like my idol, William Hart, Fuji, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Fuji and Eddie Kendricks were my two favorites, you know, and
yeah, you can hear that. You can hear that. I was gonna say Eddie when you were singing. I said, man, that's Eddie. You know, but it's you too, you know.
Yeah, well.
So
trying to get in where you can fit in, you know.
Yeah, about that. Then you guys changed the name to Love Committee.
Love Committee, yeah.
Hey, that like that was taken yesterday.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Maybe I need to go grab it and put it out again.
There you go.
I gotta tell you, those moves, they're very much like right? Like we know right now, right?
They tell a story.
Where I had my hands up in the air like that.
Right.
Now I got that from David Ruffin. I saw one of the videos the Temps did.
Right. Same thing, right?
I said, let me do that. You know.
Hey, it was perfect. So
trying to see what works, you know.
Absolutely.
Right. We always talk about the choreography, and I talked to Ken and Midas about the fact that Honeycomb had to work with Charlie Atkins. You guys did too, right?
That was his routines right there. So you know,
you can tell. I mean, he's always so precise. Now they say Charlie was a drummer, and so he figured out the steps to the drum beat.
To the drum beat. He threw enough chairs at me, you know. So,
wow.
Yeah, man. You know, he was like a father to all of us, right, Shelley?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. He's like a father. I mean, once you got with him and worked with him and had that experience with him, man, you felt like you just graduated from a school,
man,
with a professor, you know, which he was to us. So he was a professor.
His style was to just listen to the record, right, a couple times in a row and do a step and then go sit down for a minute, then play it again and then get up and step a little.
And then you had to do your homework. You know, you could learn at school while you're with him, but he could tell the next day if you didn't try to rehearse the night. He said, all right, white folks, you didn't rehearse last night. I can tell it.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, you know, he probably used to stay on me, man.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
That's crazy. Well, another thing I can relate to is the fact that I went to opera school. Actually, I won a scholarship. Okay. And so I was awarded a scholarship to go to USC. So after high school at LA High, I was leaving at 2:00 every day, jump on the bus, go to USC, study with the teacher, quite like yours, told me don't bring that music in here anymore. And at the same time, she said, you may want to rethink this opera thing because there's not going to be a lot of roles for black people, right? Or maybe Negro women, you know, back then. Yeah. And because I was coming in hoarse because I was singing like you were on the weekends, you know, with my brother, and the secular music, so to speak. And she wasn't having it, and so she said, "You got to make a choice." So I left after a year of opera training. Yeah. But anyway, we'll move forward. In addition to you being a great singer, you were also a fabulous songwriter and producer in Philly. So you work with groups like the OJs, Gloria Gaynor, Four Tops, a lot of others. I can't even name them all. I just want to know what stood out to you. Which artist did you like working with and why? I
liked working with a lot, especially the ones that were writers and stuff, you know, and great singers, like Eddie Kendricks, you know. I'm working with Eddie, you know, I was always nervous, you know, because I'm one of my idols, you know. So,
right.
And then Curtis Mayfield, Curtis told me one time, he used to call me T. He said, T? He said, you're going to have to go take some of these lyrics out of here. I can't sing that fast no more, you know. I'm like, this is the great Curtis Mayfield telling me to take as much lyrics as he has on the song. I'm trying to write how he writes, you know.
Right.
So, that was fun. Man, pretty much everybody that we worked with, since I've been in the temps and worked with a lot of different people, we always create a relationship to where we become more like close friends and family, man. Joe Simon, Joe taught me, he said, well, look, I'm gonna show you something. If you can't read music, I'm gonna show you how to count music. What he did. And he taught me, gave me those. Everybody, I like to think I've learned something from a little bit from here, a little bit from there. And man, I enjoy working with different artists, man. I'm a bigger fan of theirs as anybody else,
Sure.
I'm asking for autographs and pictures. So I enjoy writing, and it's still fun. The only thing is now the older writers, our writing and music ways on is accepted into the young market as the young folks, but this is their turn. This is their style of music now, and as Barry Gordy once said, the sound of young America, and it's still the young American sound. And we just have to sit back and enjoy the fruits of our labor from years ago.
Well, you certainly have worked with a lot of amazing artists.
Yeah, I've had some great teachers, Shelley. Like Gamble and Huff, Kenny Gamble,
Sure.
Tom Bell. Tom Bell took me to my first attorney in Philly when I was 17, and Gamble, you learn from being around him and Leon Huff. You learn a lot of things of how, and the great writers that were around them. Bunny Sigler was like a brother to me, and then come to Motown, and I'm around Norman Whitfields and Georgia Holland. And I'm walking around, my head this big, I'm trying to be like a sponge and absorb as much as I can,
Right.
Absolutely.
So, guys, God is really blessing me with, being around these two big companies that, and to work with people from Stax, and Joe Simons and hey, man, I've had a wonderful life in the music business, man.
That brings us to my next question for you, Ron. You said Joe Simon. Yeah. So tell us, as well as the people at home, a little bit about your relationship with Joe and how he was an influence on you musically and professionally.
I don't want no, I owe you what you promised to do. He heard that, he's bust out laughing.
Yeah.
Hey, man, he's a wonderful guy, man. He took me out one dinner, and he said, Tyson, he's sitting across from me. He said, Tyson, he said like this. He said, one of these days, boy, you're going to have, he had rings on all his fingers, right? One of these days, you're going to have all these, just be patient, son, be patient.
Yeah.
I mean, he would always give you some knowledge, man, from old school advantage, and I love him, man. He's like a big brother to me.
Yeah.
And we still to the day. He's still a great friend, and he's a reverend now. So,
Oh, right.
Yeah. Actually, our producer Taz has worked with Joe on some of his crusades.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and word.
I think.
What's that? I'm sorry.
You mentioned that to me.
Yeah, and word through the grapevine is that he's always trying to get her married, get her hitched or something like that.
Somebody needs to. Somebody needs to.
Oh, he say somebody need to. Oh Lord.
I'm out of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Ron, in 1983, you guys appeared on the with the Motown 25. That
was my first gig, man.
Wow.
You talking about somebody who was scared.
Yeah.
Backstage, and we all standing around while different acts were going on. So Mark Reeves was standing like near me, and she come and said, well, Ron, everybody's gonna be watching you tonight.
Oh.
Watching me? Why? I'm already to bite my nails. Watching me? Why?
Yeah.
You the new kid on the block. You taking Eddie Kendrick's spot. I'm like, oh Lord. So about that time, as soon as she finished, I heard Smokey say, ladies and gentlemen, here they are. The Temptations before top. So we had like about 5 steps to walk up.
Yeah.
Going up these steps, I'm saying, feet, don't fail me now.
Yeah.
Charlie Akron was watching, from Line was watching, but luckily Melvin, Otis, Richard, and Dennis, they were my blanket, man. They wrapped around me and said, hey, come on, baby, we got you. Well,
That's how it's supposed to be. Yeah.
I said, let me get to this microphone and sing a little bit of something. that was my first show, man.
I tell you, the audience couldn't tell if that was your first show or not because you nailed it, man. You nailed it. But
right.
Well, you know, all the people were watching, man. Who wanted to be the one? Man, he ain't the one, Otis.
Yeah.
So a lot of my friends said, man, why didn't you tell us you were gonna be on this Motown 25 show? I said, well, first of all, I didn't tell y'all because if they fired me after the show, I didn't want to be
right.
What happened? You're not in the group no more.
Yeah.
So I didn't tell anybody. I said, hey, man, they'll find out about the show afterwards.
After the show, hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
So did you ever think after that show you'll still be here 30 years later?
I never thought it, man. But, you know, I always was happy to be here. And Eddie Kendricks pulled me to the side the first night I came to Florida to meet the group. He told me, come by my room. So I came by his room. He said, look, this is going to be a wonderful opportunity for you. He said, you'll be able to take care of your family. You know, you have a good situation going for you. Stick with Otis. He said that everything will work out for you.
There it is, right? Yeah.
The picture you showing, I ain't letting Otis get 2 feet away from me. So, you know, a guy walked up to me one day and he said, hey, Ron, he said, here's the CD, man. He said, I'm a tenor singer. He said, can you give this to Otis and let him know, you know, in case he run across any situations that, you know, you can help me out? I said, sure, man, sure, great. He gave me the CD. As soon as I got around to a trash can, I threw it in the trash. I told him, I said, some guy gave me a CD. He was a singer, and he told me to give you this CD. I said, you know, I threw it in the trash. He got to laugh, and he said, man, you crazy. I said, no, bro, ain't no tenor singer coming up in here like that. No, I'm sorry.
Well, man, hey, I get it. You got to protect yourself.
You got to protect it, man. I'm like a dog when you're trying to take his bone, you know.
Absolutely.
Get it. So Tops and the Temps going back and forth. I mean, that was classic. And I think it still goes on today when you guys.
Yeah, we're on the road. We still work together.
Yeah.
You know, the pandemic's what stopped it, you know.
Right.
That's one of the happiest times of my life, man. You know.
Yeah.
You know, that will always be with me, man. You know.
Yes.
I mean, you figure most of those guys you see on that video are all gone.
Yeah.
Otis and Duke are the only two still around.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
I got one. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ron.
And you know, I had the experience of working with the great Levi and Duke. Well, Duke is still around, but Lawrence and Obi, Melvin, Richard, Dennis, Holly. So man, that's something that's in my treasure bank, man. You know, that I'll love and remember forever. Yeah,
man. And you deserve everything you've got. You know, your tenure with these guys.
Hey, I'm happy to be here, man. I'm happy to be here.
I admire you, man. I ain't ashamed to say it. I admire the shit out you.
Oh, man. We got to keep it
crazy, kid.
Oh, I forgot PG. I'm sorry.
PG. Ron, real quick before we proceed, I got to ask you about that microphone situation. Are you guys the only group that ever used that type of microphone device?
That I know of. I mean, you might have had some fakers, you know.
Right.
My group might have been in on the faker part because we had one thing up.
Okay.
3 mics on it.
Yeah, I just never seen that with any other group.
And then, believe it or not, we had a guy from school to make ours up. That was just how everybody wanted to be like the Temps. We had a guy that worked in the metal shop, and we told him what we wanted and designed it. He came back, we had the mic all set up, and we like, damn, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Everybody wanted to be like the Temps, man. You know, Temps set the pace, man. As far as dressing go, dancing go, and you know, everything else. Everybody wanted to be like a Temptation.
Yeah, great.
And we were no different.
All right.
Well, I know when Maurice White, my brother-in-law, became too ill to tour and continue with the band, and they had to go on without him. Philip Bailey had to step up into, you know, something that was unbelievable, take over Maurice's vocals, as well as his own, you know, with that great falsetto like yours.
He's another one of my idols, another one. Yeah.
Yep. So I wanted to know how you felt having to step into Eddie Kendricks, you know,
big shoes to fill, shall we?
Big shoes, right,
You know, but you know, I felt like coming up when I became a Temptation fan from the day one, that he was the one that his voice fit the voice I had. And I said, okay, I'm gonna work and pattern myself and learn from his style, how he breathed when he sang, how he made moves against the lyric in the back, the harmony in the background, you know, and I learned a lot from him and from William Hart, Fuji, you know, those two really kind of put mine, you know, in Philly, you had a hard time trying to get into the tenor singing position because every group from Philly was basically doing tenor singing. So if you didn't create a style where you were different,
that's right,
you locked into a category, you know. So, but Eddie, I must admit, Eddie was a big influence on me, and you know, Fuji, William Hart, and you know, Philip. Tell Philip he was right up in there too. So don't, you know.
Yeah, he's probably watching.
Hey,
Which brings me to this Grammy that you all won, this Irresistible, spelled EAR.
right.
That was, I believe, in the year 2000, but you had a lot to do with that album, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did, you know, funny thing about that Grammy, we didn't think we were going to really win it, right? So we were up in the back of the theater where they were giving them out, and somebody had to come and call us. Hey, man, you guys, they calling you, get your name on stage, man. You guys just won a Grammy. And we started running toward trying to get to the stage, man. Because we got basically, oh man, you know, so they're gonna probably give it to somebody else because we thought we were gonna win one the year before. And man, that was that was another great experience, you know. But it was fun, and I think I even wrote a song or two on that album.
That's right. That's right. A few of them.
Otis and myself, and Vic Karstoffen he was like my little brother, you know.
Honeycomb never got a Grammy, but when Verdine gets on his high horse over here, I remind him that Honeycomb had gold records before Earth, Wind & Fire.
Hey, Honeycomb fan. Are you kidding? Yeah. Hey man, look. Are you kidding? Gonna put it in the one ass.
Yeah.
He said he answered that ad. So.
Oh, yeah,
he sure did, huh?
That's great. That's a great comeback.
Yeah.
So Ron, you became, I don't know if by default, but you became sort of like the master of ceremonies for the Temptations by keeping everybody pumped up. Tell us a little bit about, you know, that how that came about, or how you adapted to that role, or
tell you how it came about. It came about because Richard Street would, you know, he was normally doing that. And I guess he would get tired on certain times and he'd go, well, Ron, go ahead, you know, you do it. And I'm like, man, I'm not used to doing this kind, you know. So he taught me how to, he didn't teach me right out. I was watching him so much that I learned from it how to basically come out. Then I figure out how to add my own little flavor to it, you know, crack a little joke here and there, or come up with different gimmicks, you know, get the audience involved, and, you know, take out your cell phones and turn on the light, create a candlelight evening.
yeah. And I think things,
man, a lot of things like that. And so I learned that from Richard, man. Richard was kind of a big influencer on that.
Yeah, and I too do those sort of things based on the show or whatnot. Why do you, just from, you know, I probably already know the answer, but for the people at home, why do you think that role is so important during a show?
Well, you know, you want to keep the audience involved and feel like they're involved in your show, man. You know, hold their attention. When you don't hold their attention, you know, people's minds drift.
That's true.
You know, when you got something constantly going, you know, when you got that little gap in there, you're not doing nothing. Then everybody sitting there, when they lean back in the chair, bro, on the edge of their seat.
Yeah,
so from that, we just try to, you know, and Otis and Pop, you know, kind of drill it into at least my head, that, hey, man, we got to keep this thing moving, you know.
Absolutely.
Keep the space. Keep something going. Like I'll tell the people sometimes, you know, Otis used to walk me to school on his way to work.
No.
You know.
Yeah, just keeping them engaged, right?
Some kind of entertainment, you know, different type of little joke here and there, you know, and you know,
Absolutely.
How many free ladies in the audience, you know, and then I'll say something like, you know, that you didn't see the husbands looking around and trying to see whose hands were going up.
Right.
You gotta come up with some kind of thing all the time.
Yeah.
So you gotta be singing and thinking at the same time.
And because that's a skill set within itself.
Yeah.
And,
what is this recipe for love? In fact, I think Don Randall mentioned that too. Recipe for Love. Don from over in the UK.
Right.
He talked about your album, Recipe for Love. How was that?
Recipe for Love. That was great. That was, you know, Preston Glass and myself. You know, we put that together. You know, songs. It was a great CD to me. You know, I love, not bragging on myself, but I loved everything I, you know, musically. Because I think every step that you make is a step going, you know, more into the future of wherever you're trying to go, wherever you're trying to be.
Right. And you also do that with Free to Pain on this album?
Yep, Free to Sing one with us on there. That was great, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll still listen to that CD today, man, riding in my car.
Yeah.
I got the can't help it, man, you know.
Hey.
can't help it.
So listen, our mutual friend over in the UK, Pittsfield Chalky, love I got my swagger back.
Got my swagger back.
In fact, he says he's playing it right now. You know, I mean,
right.
What's up, Chalky?
We did a little video on that, you know, me and a couple of buddies of mine. But you know, it was something project that I worked on, you know, outside of the group. Just, you know, music, trying to give some of my expressions out on, you know, my voice, you know.
Right.
And it was great doing it. Probably do another one or two more, you know. You never know. You never can tell.
I had to bring this up, guys. Don Randall's husband, Bill Randall. Remember Bill Randall over in the UK?
Bill Randall. I don't know the name, but maybe I've met him.
But he says he loved you, and Bill was a big soul DJ. You know, he passed away 2 months ago, and she just wrote that Bill loved Ron Tyson. So
great, man. Hey, I like to give a shout out to my relatives over in Berlin. You know, I know they probably plugged in and just, you know, tell them I said hello and hope to get to see you soon. You know.
Yeah.
But then I got relatives in Charlotte and Monroe, North Carolina, Stephanie and Pam and Fulham and Holiday and all of the Williams family.
Well,
Ronnie loves you.
I'm glad you mentioned them because when we would do shows in the area, 2 of your cousins would come and say, "Hey, my cousin Ron Tyson." You know, no, it's for real. He's my cousin. You don't believe me? And she showed me your phone number.
Oh,
Yeah, nice. And she said, so when y'all gonna get Ron in the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame?
They bug you about that, huh?
Not really, but they influence on it because if I called them, they were saying, "Listen, y'all need to get my cousin in." So I am proud to say, in 2016, you did become a member of the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame. Oh,
beautiful.
Hey, man, I'm happy to be in there. You have great.
Awesome.
I didn't know as many celebrities came from North Carolina until I looked down the list, man, and saw the company that I was going to be a part of, man. And you know, I am truly honored to be a member of the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame, man. That was one of the great honors of my life, man. And I really appreciate it, Ken.
Oh, man.
You created that, man, and much love to you.
Oh, man, it's all good. Your son had to come. You were on the road. Your son had to come and pick up your award, I believe.
Yeah, we were on the road, and I asked my son would he go and accept it for me, and he said, "Dad." So he thought it was going to be like 200 or 300 people or something like that. So he said, "Dad, when I got there," he says, "about 2,500, 3,000 people." I was on the plane to there to make the speech, you know. And that was now my daughter, you know, she's in the music business. And she's like, "Dad, you got to let me do one of those one time." My son Ryan, since that on there, he is now the president of Warner Chapel A&R department around the world. So then I got a son named Damien. He's with Republic Records, and my daughter Raina, she's with Warner Brothers. So man, it's like they all are finding their own niche in the music business, man. And I'm just happy to see them doing their own thing, man. And
That's great.
I love them for it. I love all my kids. I have 4 girls and 2 boys, and I love them all, man. Just like they're still babies to me,
Yeah. Well, it was a great night.
Yeah, he told me I missed it, man, and I wish I could have been there.
Yeah.
But I figured I could send somebody that looked pretty much close to me.
Yeah, a younger version, right?
I said it might work, and he pulled it off. Like he's a smart young man, so
Very smart, very intelligent. Hey, I was proud of him.
Hey, thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah. I'm sure he might be watching too, because he was on a flight coming home today, so I hope he made it back in time. But yeah, those guys, I'm really proud of my kids, man.
Nice.
So you all received Beautiful Star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Explain that experience and how that went.
Okay, first of all, on that experience, I was in the hospital.
Wow.
So when they mentioned that we were going to be getting the Star on Hollywood, the nurses in the hospital, they put a watch on my room because they knew I was going to get out of there. But Ron, you can't go anywhere. You can't do this. And Susie Arquetta, she was up in there. Man, stop thinking about trying to get over there to that. But I was happy that we got it. The guys got it. Just sorry that I wasn't able to be there. And actually, I probably laid in the bed, and a few little drops of rain fell on my face.
Wish it would rain, huh?
Yeah, Yeah. But that was a great experience for the Temps to get a star on. The Temps really it was well deserved.
Right. Talk a little bit now about how it was to perform on a Capitol 4th, because my whole family watched that in here. We had the TV blasting. It was great.
Lord, man.
Yeah.
But then, we did that at a sound studio,
right?
Which was strange because you had no audience. The only people you had were the technicians there,
right.
And so it's like you're singing, so you're trying to look at something to find something to sing to take your mind off. There's
right.
no,
right.
You're still trying to do your best at the same time. It was really weird, man. I hope that we can get rid of this pandemic and find our way back to the stages that we all, have grown accustomed to and loved, and and we're used to performing and entertaining people. It's something that's going to be needed. But of course, we have to get rid of this pandemic and get everybody back on their feet again, man. Because right now we like in a lost kind of cause, man. You see people walking around in a daze, and it's like we've lost on it. I think things will never be the same, but we got to find out where this new direction is leading us, man.
Right. Right.
Things have changed. Things have changed, but hopefully, music is definitely going to be one of the. Music and sports is going to help bring it back as close to the center as it can, because we need that kind of recreation and entertainment to kind of fill our hearts, man. You can listen to music on the radio and that you play at home, but you don't do that so much. You want to see something live.
Yeah, we're in a little bit of trouble when Michelle Obama made a statement today how depressed she was.
Oh yeah, I read that, man.
Yeah, that was insane. We're in trouble, after that.
We went to the White House and President Obama asked us, did we do Silent Night? Are we still doing Silent Night? And we said, yeah, And when he said that, I just started singing Silent Night. Then, we all started singing, and he was singing. So next thing I know, I pointed to him like, go ahead, you got the second verse. He started singing the second verse, man.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. He's he's a great guy, man. A great president, big influence on our lives. And my father probably was tearing up the whole time he was, president, because for him at his age to see a black president, that's something he probably never imagined. I never imagined it, but a lot of our parents, man, all of us our parents, that was a great thing for them to see and to have happen, you know, in our lifetime, you know.
Yes,
And
When the guys performed there, they were the first of the inauguration, the first event. It was the
okay,
governor's ball. So
okay.
they're in the East Ballroom doing sound check. And like you said, Obama walks in and in his falsetto, he's singing, "That's the way."
Oh, he was
such a cool guy.
a lot of character, man. I mean, hey,
Guy.
he was a special person, man.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
God put him in the right place for the right time, and you know, it
Nice.
worked, man, and it happened.
we got a few fun facts, if you will, for the folks at home about the Temptations.
And a few fun photos.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm going
Right?
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the Temptations are currently the subject of the smash hit Broadway musical "Ain't Too Proud," the life and times of the Temptations, which opened on Broadway at the Imperial Theater on March 21st, 2019.
Right.
The music received 12 Tony nominations and won the Tony Award for Best Choreography at the 73rd Tony Awards at Radio City Music Hall in New York City.
Right.
And that was on June 10th, 2019.
All right.
All right. It has already captivated thousands of theater goers during sold out performances on the Great White Way. At year end of 2019, Ain't Too Proud had broken the house record at the Imperial Theater for a second time.
Okay.
The week ending December 29th, the musical had the highest grossing week in the history of the Imperial Theater. Also, in 2019, the original cast album for the smash hit Broadway musical Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations, was nominated for a Grammy Award in the Best Musical Theater Album category.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's fantastic, man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic, you know. And that's from Otis's, all started from his book, man, you know.
Sure.
And it's progressed to where, you know, the play, and I think they're gonna probably do a movie. And hey, man, I'm happy for him.
So, Ron, what projects are you currently working on, if any?
I'm just writing songs, you know, stacking some songs up, man. TC Campbell and myself, we've been doing some writing, and we wrote a song about what's happening now in, you know, in society, man. You know, pandemic and you know, time for the people. You know, stand up for their rights, man. That's the name of the song. It's called Time for the People. It's time so young, and I'm happy to see all these young people standing up for things and demanding change. You know. We've gone long enough. You know, we had people that paved the way for different things to open up like this, but now these young people are taking no for an answer, not taking no for an answer. So it's great to see all of that, man. And so I'm working on songs like that and a few love songs. Maybe Shelley let me write one for them one of these days, you know.
Yeah.
Return of the Honeycomb.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another beautiful thing about us. You know, having guests on that we in the same industry. I mean, hopefully some collaborations do come from this as well.
Hey, man, you never know. You know, my mind is always open to stuff like that, you know.
Yeah. Ken look like you want to say
the board need one too.
Okay.
You're second.
Who you think is at the table? Chairman of the board. You like that, Ken?
Yes, indeed. Well, I think we're gonna get into our Q&A segment with the audience. That's one of the brilliant things about our platform is that we get to, you know, I guess as well as us, we get to take questions from our live interactive audience. So we're gonna go through. Here we go. Miss Marcia Evans says, Ron, singing first tenor, how did you care for your voice?
How did I care for my voice? Well, you know, I didn't do any harsh anything, you know. I drink room temperature water, you know. I don't like cold things too much. Drinking teas, and I don't do a lot of screaming if I don't have to.
Right.
You know, every kind of little precautionary measure you can take, man. You know, especially when you're singing tenor, falsetto. You know, you if you take care of the voice will take care of you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a little my theory of how I manage my situation. Now, different people do it. Some people can smoke and still sing. I don't think I could do that because I've never, to me, at my point, I had to be trained to smoke a cigarette and sing. So it never bothered. I never smoked in my life. So,
Right.
So hey, just the little things you can do to take care of your voice, or it's like taking care of your life. So
yeah.
You're also a beautiful baritone. Also.
Thank you, Shelley.
Marion Woodard.
You give me bass, girl.
Bass.
Jamarian, is it Jamarian or Jamarian, Shelley?
Oh, it's Jamarian. Hey, nephew.
Yeah. You want to take that one?
Huh?
I was asking Shelley if she just wanted to respond.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Jamarian says, Woodard says the Temptations are amazing and one of Motown's best groups.
Woo! Woo! I like to think so, I like to think so. The Temptations pioneers, just as it's like we look at the marches that Martin Luther King did, the Temptations did their marching through music.
Mm-hmm. True indeed. True indeed. Folks at home, if you have a question, we urge you and encourage you to type it in. I'm scrolling. You guys looking as well?
Come on with it.
Questions.
Go to Don Randall. Don Randall wants to know, Ron, did you ever work with Damon Harris?
No, never worked with him. Never worked with Damon, He had a great voice,
oh, that's
great. He was a good replacement for Eddie Kendricks, but I never got the opportunity to do anything with him there, I did an album with Glenn Leonard when he was in the group, never Damon.
Ron, what's your favorite girl group or girl group song?
Put it in the
I was gonna say, be careful. That was a trick.
That was one of her relatives too. They try to set you up, Ron.
Right.
I got to say the Honey Come, but check this out. That's real though.
Thank you.
That's true.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Those are great years. Thank you.
Everybody's bashful. We have a Temptation on tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
No, that's right.
Gotta have a question. You may not get this chance again. Better get it in while you can. Questions. The door is open for Q&A.
Trying to gracefully ease some stuff in here. Ron, you were with the amazing godfather of music, Clarence Avant, and I think we have a picture. Can you tell us where you were here?
Actually, that was an affair that I went with my son, Ryan, and it was for, I guess, the introduction of Big John to Sony Music. And they had a big extravaganza for him over there. And my son invited me to go with him. And there was just a lot of people there, a lot of stars and A&R people, presidents. And it was a fun thing to be at. And I was glad that my son invited me to go,
That was classic. We also have another classic photo. The producer Taz always jokes me that I always manage to work in Earth, Wind, and Fire. So let's have it, Taz. There it is. There are all of you.
Awesome.
See Ralph? Yeah.
There was LAX.
Yeah, I see my head popping up in the back over there.
I see you. I guess you guys were going two different places, though, right? You were flying.
Yeah, I'm sure. Places. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Sure it was. Yeah.
Mr. Charles Etchison, our friend Chuck, says I was asking about Mike Patillo. Did I pronounce that correctly? Mike Patillo, is he still in the group?
Never was in the group with us.
Okay.
With Dennis Edwards.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right.
Got another one.
So let me ask about. I've got one to ask while you look. So when you were with the Ethics and Law Committee, you did some stuff with Tom Moulton.
Yeah, Tom Moulton out of New York. Yeah, Tom. He was a mixer, and back in the day in his 80s, 70s, and 80s, and he had a lot of projects that he would be working on, and he hired me to come sing on a few projects for him, and I did, and hey, it was fun. Tom's a nice guy,
Yeah.
and he paid well.
That helps.
Yeah.
So,
Well, he
If you
speaks very
paying, I'm
highly.
playing. Hey, if you paying, I'm playing. So
There you go.
Patty McGill asked Ron, how do you keep the energy after all these years?
hey, I drink my sea moss and take my vitamins. I ride my bike. I have a street bike, you know, and just trying to keep myself in shape, man. I ain't up all night and I ain't drinking all night, and and all of that. So, it's important that I have grandkids, man. So I can't have nobody jumping up on me and I'm
Oh,
or
yeah,
something.
definitely.
Yeah.
So hey, man, things like that. Just kind of stay in shape the best I can.
Cool. Miss Marsha.
I don't like to say that all the time. I might be in the fourth quarter. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
True.
True. Absolutely. And we got another question. Miss Marsha Evans says, have you written a book or do you intend to do so?
Yeah, I've had a few offers, and people wanted me to do some things, but I had to tell they want dirt on people, man. They want to know some
Yeah.
things. I said, man, I said, this guy's in the Temps families and the kids and grandkids. They call me Uncle Ron.
Right.
I said, if you want a book with me, the happy times I've had in the group, on the road, and the things people I've met along the way, I can give that to you. We can do something. But as far as me giving you things on people, that you want to put out in print, I said, I can't do that, bro. I said, I'd rather not write a book at all if you're looking for the dirt.
Amen.
I'm not the one.
Yeah.
So, so the guy, like I was expecting, he never called back. So we never did it. I ain't mad at him, man. God bless him, man.
For sure. Okay, a couple of more questions. We got Miss Dawn Randall again. Are you looking forward to returning to the UK?
Oh, definitely, man. We love UK, what can I say, man? The UK has been good to us. We played in U2, and we play, stay at wonderful hotels there and working at the great venues. And I love the UK. I got friends over there that I've known for years, So I got the greatest respect for the UK.
Great. Okay. Next is Miss Hattie Rogers says, I know you do community outreach work. Did you perform for Senior Friendship Day at is that Shane Park at Aretha Franklin Amphitheater in Detroit? Rest in peace.
No, we didn't do nothing for Aretha Franklin, but we played there a lot. We didn't do anything for Aretha, to my memory, but I'm pretty sure I'm right, but no, we didn't. I love Aretha, man. Aretha told me one night we were at in Detroit, and she said, Ron, you should tell Otis to let you sing I'm Gonna Make You Love Me. And I told Otis, and then we put it in the show.
Nice.
And I never got back to see her again to say, Reef, what do you think? We put it in. It was just her telling me something like that, man, was big to me. Reef giving you some knowledge, hey man, you should try it. I can still feel that spirit when she told me that, man.
That's awesome.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. Miss Carolyn Green asked, do you have a favorite Temptations song?
Each day through my window, I watch her and she
Just my imagination, huh?
Yeah, great song.
Hey, Shelly. Yeah, hey.
It's a jam.
Hey,
great song.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Well, we running low on time, so I think we're gonna proceed. Thank you all at home for your questions, and we appreciate you.
So, Ron, earlier you talked about your children.
Right.
Can y'all hear me?
I hear you.
And you talk about, they're in the industry. Did any of them start singing? Did they have a desire to sing like their dad?
Well, one of my daughters, Rika, she had a little group, and she told me that dad, they had a manager, and she said the minute that I mentioned to the guy that you were my dad and you were in the Temptations, she said we never heard from him no more. And this was after he had given them a contract, and I guess he wanted them to sign it. So she mentioned that to him before they had signed it, and she said, "We never saw." I said, "Rika, he probably had something in that contract. He knew it, but I read it, I heard about it. I was going to be in his case, so feel like you accept it like it was something great that happened to you. You didn't probably need to sign it anyway, because I signed one of those contracts, man, when I was young. I forged my father's name, and he found the contract before he passed. He showed me that. He showed it to me, man. He said, Ronnie, I still got this contract that you signed, put my name on it. I'm like, oh my God, you still got that, man? But yeah, that was one of my kids. The only one that that's been trying to sing was her.
Well, you definitely have a period, from what I've heard today, and what I've seen with my eyes, like with your son. So, hey, man, you're blessed.
And, my brother's in the Manhattans.
What?
Give him a shout out.
That's right.
David.
Dave Tyson.
Okay.
Same last name, right?
Hey, brother, and I believe Honeycomb did the Soul Train Cruise. The Manhattans were on that show.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We never done a soul. I wanted to always do a Soul Train cruise, but we never. I talked to Don Canesia's son, and he had mentioned that he was going to try to put that together, but it never materialized.
Well, I tell you, if we are going to talk about who's on the show next week, real quick, if anyone is not familiar with the Jones Girls,
oh yeah,
if you love the emotions, then you will love the Jones Girls.
That's true. Yes, Shirley Jones.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Singing girls.
Singing family.
Singing family, right?
That's right.
And,
nothing like a family harmony, boy.
Right. And wait, back to our kids. We talked earlier in the green room saying that sometimes they call us old school, but we have kids that will sample our music in a heartbeat. So
thank you. Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, we want to announce to everyone that we on the panel here are a part of Celebrity Shoutouts, and that's where you guys call us or you sign into the link, and we'll do a shout out of any kind of a birthday or a celebration, whatever you have going on.
I might shout out to y'all every week.
Yeah, Ron, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to join. We can talk about it.
Yeah,
that's right.
We're adding on to the roster.
I know some of my friends gonna be like, I couldn't even mention my name on there, man. So
that's right.
Shout out to all my friends.
Yeah. So everyone at home watching, if you would like a celebrity shout out for your family member for whatever occasion, feel free to check out the website and check us out. We'd be more than happy to hook you up, as they say.
That's right.
Yeah.
There it is. If you want to write it down real quick, can we put that up there one more time? If you don't mind. Shout out to Taz, worked so hard.
There it is.
Make sure you get that down, folks, and give us get in touch with us, and also as always, we like to encourage you all to subscribe and like our Facebook channel, as well as subscribe and like our YouTube channel, so you can see all of our content weekly as we drop it, and you don't have to get lost in the sauce searching around. And if you have to get a YouTube account, go ahead and do that too. We try to make it in this digital age. We want to make it as easy as we can. We, based on last week, we apologize for some of you that didn't get to see the video. We Facebook, did a little thing where they blocked us a little bit in certain countries or whatever. So that's one of the hurdles that we're still learning, but everything's still all good. And also, before we sign off, Ken, you want to update about any of our shows September?
All I can tell you to do is to go to our website, www.thecameraman.com, because things are constantly changing.
Yeah.
And I understand, the governors want people to be safe. So, we're follow what the governors are saying in these different states. And I know Ron's ready to hit the road. We're ready to hit the road.
My bag is by the door. My bag is packed by the door right now.
Yeah, get a little stir crazy cabin fever.
So all the other people look out. Look out for For the Temptations, look out for Chairman of the Board and the Honeycomb.
And the honeycomb.
And Earth, Wind, and Fire.
And
That's right.
One big family, one big family over here. But we
That's
are
right.
working on some stuff in September. But like Ken says, just make sure you go to the website, follow us on Facebook at the Chairman of the Board, and again, go over to YouTube, like and subscribe. We're keeping this thing going. Next week will be episode 16. Before we sign off, we want to thank everybody out there at home, all over the world that tuned in. We thank you guys from week to week. Without you, we could not do this. And because of you, we are continuing to do it. And we definitely got to thank our special guest of the evening, Mr. Ron Tyson. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Ron, yes.
Comment.
Yes, Ron.
If you're in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, make sure you stop by the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame and check it out.
And Kannapolis.
You're going to love what you see and learn. So, hey, check it out in Charlotte.
Hey, I couldn't say it better.
Right.
Specifically, it's out in Kannapolis, or just above Charlotte. And speaking of, we want to give one final shout out to Miss Debbie McFadder.
Absolutely.
She is the chairwoman of the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame, and she supports us tremendously. We thank you so much. Thank you to all our friends. Thank you to all our family. Y'all continue to stay safe out there. Wear your mask, wash your hands, do what you got to do. We're going to get through this pandemic at the end of the day. God bless you all. We'll see you next week for episode 16. Good night.
Good night.
Thanks for having me, yo. Love you.